Hey guys, it's Cristobal here. This is literally my first time ever doing something like this, and I thought it'd be quite fun to film myself, talking to through a mic because I've always wanted to do something like this, and just kind of like see what kind of topics that I'd like to bring forward, whether it's about being a medical student or my interests or ways that I can help others, or at least when you watch me or watch what I have to say, that you leave with something valuable in some way or form. And also, it's a great way for me to learn too. It's not just a space for me to just talk, but your contributions would be really nice, and to see them in the comment section would be really great to hear. So, you're welcome to this very safe and warm space, and let's see what we can do. All right. So the topic I really wanted to talk about today was about valuing, yourself and your time. And I think the reason why I wanted to talk about that is because I realized how much I needed to really understand this topic, because the idea of valuing yourself and your time really translates in so many ways, and it also translates to your self-worth. At least that's how I have always understood it, or at least have come to understand since. um I think the thing about valuing myself meant that I had to start putting myself first in many aspects of my life. And although it hasn't been easy in every single situation, um, my innate self tells me that, okay, I have to put myself first now, because this is the way to make myself happy. And I think the thing is, I don't know if it's inherently like this for everyone, but being able to be selfless and wanting to give so much leaves you quite vulnerable to people who want to take advantage of that kindness. And it's very important to actually be able to recognize it. And when recognizing those specific things and specific tendencies that people do, you are more inclined to stop it from ever happening to yourself. Now, like, how do you actually start to see yourself or value yourself in that way? For me, it's always been because it was instilled from me from a very young age, and understanding that, it's important to make myself happy. Yes, you can help others, and making others happy makes is a great thing, and I think it's inherently something that we want to do. Um, but really understanding that doing what is right for you will make you happier in the long run, and also I think you will have no regrets, to be quite honest. At least that's how I've always understood it. Now, how do you actually determine your own value and your own self-worth? I think for me, realizing the principles I had. So what was important to me, what kept me going, what are the things I say yes and no to. When I have because I have an understanding of that, and understanding this is what makes me me, and this is what is important to me, and I'm not gonna forfeit it for other people. um, I think definitely makes you happy in the long run, even though when everybody seems to be following one specific way and you are deciding to push against the grain, it can be difficult for people. I kid you not, it's difficult for me as well, like everyone. But really understanding that, when you look back at these things, you'll be most happiest. I think I'm a firm believer of something like this. I feel that you don't necessarily have to experience it in order to understand it. You can learn from others on this type of thing, but the way I've always seen it is this: the idea of not seeing yourself as a valuable person, I think is pretty, like, it's pretty sad to see that people are going through this type of thing, because it isn't something that inherently we should be like. Um, the idea of not seeing yourself as somebody who has value, somebody who can add something to the world, whether it may seem small to you at this particular point in time. But honestly, I don't think people should be thinking in this way, because the fact that you are put on this earth in the first place to like give something, it's not necessarily to give something, but I mean, you're put on this earth with a purpose, and you have gifts, even if you haven't figured out what those things are just yet. I don't think you were created just for the sake of being created. I think there is a calling in your life, and you know, it may take a day to find out what it is. It may take a few years. It's fine, but knowing that you're still running your own race, and I shouldn't even say a race, because you know what I think it is? I think it's more like a marathon. You know, you're taking it step by step, but at the end of the day, you still get to that final destination or the finish line, and whatever it is. What are my tips for people who are finding it difficult to value themselves or figure out what their self-worth is? I honestly think a really good idea is to start speaking nice things to yourself, speaking it into existence, as they like to say. Saying good things to yourself. I am kind, I am caring, I am valuable, I am worth it, I am a success, those type of things. Saying good things to yourself, or writing them down even, and putting it on your pin board or something that you can see it every day, I think is a really good way to actually instill those type of things. You know, they always say fake it till you make it, but I think it actually is really helpful, because it's a way of, you know, for putting yourself into that mindset, consciously making that effort, not necessarily forcing yourself, but consciously making yourself to think in that way. And when you notice yourself kind of moving towards that negative side of yourself, kind of pushing it back in that way by saying those things to yourself. I actually think another good way of doing it, I don't know if any of you read like the Bible or have like your own religious text or something. I think it's actually quite nice to be able to see good ways in which you can live your life as well. And they are quite helpful. I've always found like the Bible verses for myself have been really helpful in knowing that I don't find my strength from myself, but I get my strength from God, and that's how I'm able to move and keep pushing or persevering on whatever it is that I'm doing. Yeah, I think those are really good things. Also, if you want, you can watch podcasts. I like watching podcasts. I think they're a lot of fun because they give you the opportunity to hear somebody else's perspective on what they did. Like this one. Or do we call it a podcast? We haven't figured it out yet, but it's something. Stuff like that. Hopefully that would help. So I think I've pretty much, given some ideas, and hopefully they will add something nice to you and you can use them on your daily basis. But if you want me to expand more, you feel like there's other aspects that I haven't covered, because I definitely haven't covered everything, but at least I've started somewhere. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what kind of videos you'd like to see, and I will see you soon. Okay, have a blessed day, guys.